Alrighty, you are tuned in to Faces of Success TV, and today we are talking about how wrongful convictions affect families. And we actually have a guest on. Taryn Williams is going to be sharing with us her story today in regards to how her husband has been sentenced to 155 years, wrongfully convicted for a burglary. We have our special host on today, Nate Williams and Vandrick. So, are you guys ready to roll? Let's roll.
Yes, you stay ready so we ain't got to get ready. Thank you, Pearl. Welcome everybody for another episode. Um, yeah, Taryn, his story has hit me and Vandrick hard because we both are formerly incarcerated, and we have a feeling for people that don't deserve to be there, that's wrongly convicted. Like I was there for another case that I was wrongly convicted, so I know what she's going through and I know what he's going through. But I like to hear more about, what's actually happened and more as much as she can share with us. Welcome to the show, okay?
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Taryn Williams, and I am the former wife of Mr. Armond Burris. And I'm here today to inform the public about the constitutionality of long-term sentencing on incarceration and how this doesn't give the incarcerated person the ability to rehabilitate with no insight for redemption. My husband was sentenced back in March of 2002 for residential burglary to 155 years to life. He was It was out of Pomona Court, and during this time, they tried to offer him a deal of 30 years to life. He had a co-defendant with him on this case. Mr. Burris did not want to take the plea deal, so that's why he ended up going to trial. During this course, we had a private attorney. We didn't have a public defender. There was a private attorney. So, with me, Mr. Burris being 22 years age at the time, he did have previous convictions, but one was a residential burglary and one was assault, but self-defense. With 155 years to life when there was no one that was um, harmed, no kidnapping, none of that. And not to mention that all the merchandise that was taken from these homes was recovered and given back to the people. So I just don't understand how a judge can sentence a young man, 22 years of age, to 155 years to life.
So excuse me, with that sentence, was it restitutions too that he had to pay? Was it amount on that he
Yes,
owed?
the restitutions was
Usually, when you
about,
do crimes like that, they make you pay restitutions towards the victims, and
yes, the
it usually be
restitution,
outrageous too if they convicted him like that. I'm pretty
believe it
sure,
or not, his restitutions was
but
only no more than,
that's like unheard of. Like they really wanted him off the streets, um,
yes.
kind of like the pipelines of prison. But Vandrick,
Mhm.
I'll let you weigh in on a little bit of this.
Yeah, I'm interested to
Speak.
hear. 'Cause- Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
we can
Yes,
hear
interested.
you.
So, your story resonated with me because I've seen a lot of it over the years. And it's unfortunate that we have a system that just sees color. Is disparity in justice is real. You know, and like Nate just asked you about the restitution. That's interesting, but everything was recovered. So. Everything was covered. No one was harmed. Yet you lock a 22-year-old up for the rest of their life, basically to a death sentence for property theft. So that
Mhm.
kind of stuff takes a toll on the family and the community. So I would just like to hear how has it been on this young man's family and you trying to love him and support him through this.
Yes. Like I said, his restitution was only no more than $2,000, but you could give him 155 years to life. He had a co-defendant that was on this case. Co-defendant had previous charges of robbery with acts of violence. His sentence was 6 years with half time. I
Okay,
never
my question
understood
is
that.
to you, was anybody in any of these robberies, was anybody, or burglaries, were they injured or murdered or anything like that?
No, no murders. Nobody was injured. None of that nature. Nothing of that.
That's crazy.
Did I hear you
Yes,
correctly that his co-defendant got 6 years with halftime?
yes.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 years with half time. The court. He went to Pomona Court, and I came across somebody that was a DA that I knew that's known me since I was a little tyke. So I did ask him, and it wasn't much that he can really say. I just told him if you can look into this case because something just didn't seem right. I don't understand how the co-defendant, he had a previous robbery with violence. Um, but he's 6 years with halftime. Well, this DA said that in so many words, that the co-defendant made it seem like my husband was the mastermind of all that. So that's all. When he said that, that said enough in a nutshell. That's,
So basically,
so
he was snitching that. Is that what you're saying?
say that again, Pearl, please.
I said, so basically, he was like a snitch then, the
That's what I,
co-defendant.
yes, yes.
Yeah, that's what it base. That's what it looks like. It looks like a deal was made, and then he caught the bad stick of it because he took it all the way. And that's how it goes. He got to win through appeal. When you wrongly convicted, when it's two people like me and Vandrick can get butts together, the DL pull him in the office and say, lie and say, I told him or he did this, and then he'll pull me in there and say the same thing to trick us all up. And
Hmm.
and it goes back to the codes of the hoods, and you don't tell and all those things. And it all plays a part in our community on the pipelines of prison, how all these things are put, and it keeps your husband, your him from being out here in society. And it's deep. It's deeper than what we're talking about on here. Um, but how are you feeling today? For as you had to leave. You said you're not together.
No,
I mean,
we've been separated for 2 years. It's
that's like
been
one of the main things. Like I had my daughter, mother was in prison. I never wanted to lose nobody in prison. So when I hear that, it's like I know you're probably still, y'all both are still going through things and working out. Like I heard you say you still maintain because of the relationship with the family. And that's very important. I want to applaud you for that. Even though, I mean, it's not work, everything is not working today, but tomorrow you
Mhm.
never know. You never know what God may bless him to be out. I know he's going to be coming home. It's just a matter of when, and just be there for him in that capacity as a friend, not just turn
Yeah,
your back. Thank
and
you.
that's what's been keeping me. I mean, it's like no matter what the separation and everything that's been going on, what led up to our separation, just my spirit and my heart just would not allow me to just walk away like that. So this is here I am trying to do all I can in my power to seek justice for him. We have did wrote letters out to the Pomona court asking for resentencing. He's been denied. I was down there when during the time when what's the governor's name? Gascon
Gascon,
was,
yes.
yeah, Gascon out there protesting.
Hmm.
And I remember that they said something about the different tiers. Have never heard anything from that again. So I'm just
Hmm.
hoping that, to my understanding, there's supposed to be a AB 1509 for people
Yes.
who have been incarcerated more than 25 years. So his 25 years will be next year. And I'm praying and hoping that he falls up under that and be given some relief. I mean, he's rehabilitated himself. He's now a counselor, substance abuse counselor that's working hand in hand with the counselor. He's taking up college courses. He's doing all he can to show these people that he is a changed person, but in their eyes, he's a menace to society. Because when we did the resentencing, asked for resentencing, that was in so many words what they their response back. And I'm like, how is he a menace to society? And this is a young man that was 22 years of age that got convicted at that age. A
Hmm.
man's brain doesn't fully develop till they're
Right.
26 years old. I
Right.
just don't understand,
So
you know. So
I'm the one that went through that and came out and they did the study on. And I find it interesting that, and I'm gonna put it out there, this district attorney out of San Francisco, her son was murdered, but I get that. And she's so pro whatever on crime, but she's a person of color, right? Everything we fought for, what you just saw, Paul, I fought for, she's trying to reverse. So she's trying to say not you, but anybody coming in her county is not deserving of that. And she's trying to get other DAs to come campaign so they all could be in agreement. So when your fiance, when he sent his to them for resentencing, that they'll be the mindset of hers. That's just my opinion, but my opinion is key. It's 100% right. It's
you
100%.
know what? I've heard that, Nate, because I was
Hmm.
working with oh goodness, I can't think of it. It's a nonprofit. His name is Oscar, out of the Bay Area, reuniting families.
Oscar
And
Grant.
Oscar, yes. And
Right,
he
right. Oscar
mentioned
Grant.
something about her, about
Hmm.
that DA. And I just don't understand. It's like we're dealing with a system that it's like with blacks and browns, it's like a retroactive justice that can be served, like lock them up and throw away the key mentality.
Hmm.
And I
Right.
don't know, it's
So, may I
I,
ask you this? How many years has your husband done?
24.
24. So he still has 135 years to do?
Yes, and he does not go up to parole for parole board to
Whew.
2038.
uh, I can hear your frustration. Let me, for the audience sake, let me put some perspective on this. Um, One of the things that goes on in society is we don't get fair and just and impartial hearings. When you have a co-defendant, a lot of times it's like the first one who tells the officer what they want to hear or agree to what's being said gets what they consider to be the justice. They get the light sentence, and that's clearly what happened here. But if you put things in its proper perspective, you watch the TV shows like First 48 and all these things, you can see the pattern of the psychological um, implications that are put on people of color when you inside these. As soon as they put the handcuffs on you, they turn you against any co-defendant, even if you're innocent, completely innocent. It's such a fear of getting these outrageous sentences until you want to plea out. So
Mm,
obviously, the fact that he didn't want to plea out shows that it's something there. It's something there where he knew in his heart of hearts that he didn't take a part in this, or whatever the case may be. And a lot of
mm,
people might be saying, "Well, he has priors." Let's put things in perspective. We have those who commit murders. 25 to life is 15 to life, or 25 to life is the basic sentence for someone who commits a heinous act like murder, right?
mm,
Mhm.
Child molesters, sex offenders don't even get the life sentence. They get 10, 15 years max. So all the times, drug offenses. If you sell crack cocaine, you get more time than someone's convicted of powder cocaine. And all these injustices happen in our communities, and it takes so much to get the attention of the people who could actually make the difference. We watch people get pardoned, and today, let's bring it to just last week. People that swindle people out of millions of dollars get a pardon.
Mm-hmm.
Millions. Took people whole life savings. You know they did it, got convicted in federal court, but because of their power, their prestige, the color of their skin, they get pardoned. They don't even get a commute sentence. They get completely pardoned. Everything wiped clean. We've been watching this go on for years now. And those like your husband is just sitting there fighting to do everything they can't do. I wanted to ask you when you said he's a counselor, is he part of the OMCP program?
Yes, that's the program he went through.
Oh,
Okay.
well, small world. I actually go in and teach with the OMCP program. Um,
Okay, so he was at CMC.
oh, okay. I worked in there. I taught law and ethics in there and pharmacology. So it's a small world. And I know that program right there is about the parallel process, them getting to understanding their traumas, their life experiences, and taking responsibility for their actions. So I know if he made it through that program, it's definitely three things there: insight, remorse, and responsibility. And one of
Mm,
the things that we teach in that program, even if you didn't do that crime, you did something that you need to pay amends to, and you do that by changing your thoughts and your behaviors. And you made a good point because that's one of the things we teach. The brain is not fully developed until the age of 25, 26 years old. So the accountability piece comes in sometimes with consequences, but this is a extreme miscarriage of justice. If one gets 6 years with halftime and the other one gets
I
150,
agree.
a whole that's 5 lifetimes. People don't even
yes.
Right.
live that long.
Right.
So I know it's hard on you to 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 deal with the fact that here goes someone I love and care about that society see as a menace or stated it's been stated he's a menace. He has priors. He did this. He did that. But you know in your heart of hearts that that's not the case. You know people make mistakes. People get caught up in situations. And what I would just like to share with you, real briefly, and the people that are listening, no one does that time alone. So when these judges give you these sentences, they sentence your family too. So
Mm-hmm.
especially if you wrongly convicted, you wrongly convicting everyone in that family, everyone who loved and cared for them for a lifetime of misery, despair, heartache, and just detachment. Because as much as he tries to stay connected, it's always going to be that detachment. So I want to hear what that's like for you during the time and advocating so hard for him for justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
What,
What
what
is it
is,
like to what is it like to go visit him? Is it harassment? Is it just you just go in there
oh, yes.
all
It,
easy? How's your day when you go visit him?
well, the last time that I did go visit, it's been a while. Like I said, we've been separated for going on almost 2 years now. But when I did go visit, it was constant harassment, especially from the guards. I don't know, it was more or less from the female guards. Um, just having it to just constantly just it's always was something having to change my clothes or them wanting to search, being accused of bringing contraband in and just cutting up the visit short and no contact. And it's like no natural affection, like we're just some type of zombie or something. It's just, yeah,
I feel your
yeah.
And
pain.
was that make in that and when you in that feeling you feel, was that making you not want to go back or discourage you?
No, it wasn't that. You know what? I'll say to a certain extent. To a certain extent. It, that if anything, that kind of pushed me to be there for him because I'm very resilient, and I wasn't. I just see that it was just a uh, uh, text. How can I say it? Like they were just trying to discourage me because that's what they try to do. It's no rehabilitation. They don't care. Them guards, half of them guards don't care about if you was to have a visit or how you're feeling, what you're going through. And then times it will be times when I go visits will be cut short. They don't care if you come miles away. If it's overcrowded, your visits has to be cut short. Like it's just no empathy. It's just the judicial system is just so broken in so many ways. There's no rehabilitation trying to reunite families at all.
How did that
At
affect you and your children?
Oh my goodness. My daughters, unfortunately, it's like they have not having their father there to be with them, have got them in some situations to where dangerous situations because of them not having their father. To where it's like now it's a special case when my daughter was involved with something. And do you think that this system cares? I have to stay on top of them to see what's going on, to make sure that this perpetrator who has caused harm mentally, emotionally, and in so many ways be kept off the street. Do you think they follow up with me? No. It's just a lot. It's my daughters, it's because they're looking for something that they only their father can give them. So it's been
Yeah, most girls are daddy's girls,
they're daddy's girls.
Mhm.
It's been a
And it
lot of
means
pain, heartache,
mhm.
sleepless nights. Oh, mm, just a lot. It's just a
And
lot.
it's not a way to be, because even my father, he served time in prison, and there's, I mean, long terms too. Um, and there's just no way to say it to you, I really need you because, but you really, really do. Having a father means so very, very much, because you look up to him, as a young girl to guide you and protect you, from
Mm,
all the bad things that's out here in the world. Even though, we look for mom to do the ironing and the cooking and, put the bows in your hair, but you really, being a girl, daddy is the protector, and
yeah,
so that means a lot.
yeah. It's, so go ahead.
Just hearing you say the words, you and your daughters and your family are survivors. The system is designed to punish what they call a perpetrator, but the people that really get punished is the family, the loved ones, the children. And one thing they talk about in the system when you go in front of the parole board is they want people to understand the ripple effect, right? But they don't look at
Hmm.
the ripple effect of their incarceration is causing our community and our families. Look at that ripple effect. Look at that. Where's the culpability on your end? Okay, it's a property crime. A property crime that has severe miscarriage of justice. When you're talking about a life sentence for theft of property and the person recovered the property back, and sometimes in a in a in a system that's fair and impartial, the punishment must match the crime. And this is clearly a miscarriage of justice. And look what it's doing to you talk about victimization. The system is victimizing the families. They're victimizing him and they're victimizing the families by not looking to see if justice was served. If someone get that type of sentence, there should be two or three people looking at it, two or three different courts looking at it, because these are outrageous numbers for a property crime where no one got hurt, you know. And the people that are hurting and the people that are clearly victimized is you and your daughters. He's sitting in
Yeah.
there, he's learning how to better himself, he's surviving, he's getting a skill set that will make him employable. And I would like to say, I employ a lot of people from the OMCP program. You know, as a director of the program and going in as an instructor, I employ a lot of people in there. So I know their worth. I know the amount of empathy, compassion that they have and the skill set because they have what we call lived experience. But I also get to see, and it's unfortunate that I have to see it so often. So to hear your voice and to let people know that you guys are still suffering as a result of this miscarriage of justice. Your family is suffering. And that creates a historic sense of trauma to that family. So your
Yes.
daughter's going to carry that with them, and it's unfortunate. So they need healing. So your voice, the higher you raise your voice, the more podcasts, the more court appearances is what will bring justice. Silence doesn't bring justice, unfortunately.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. And that's why I'm here. No matter what, if we're separated, as long as I have breath in me, I am going to fight to see that justice be done for him because my daughters need him in so many ways. When I say in so many ways,
Jesus, buddy.
it's just, if only you knew what I was experiencing, what they're going through at the moment. And a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand the pain and the anguish that it causes and how we're affected. But I have faith and I believe that something will give sooner than later. But I have to keep up the good fight. So now I feel that I'm, writing letters. He's right now, I think he's gonna do a commutation. He's yeah, it's coming up. Matter of fact, I believe this month, if I'm not mistaken, commutation to the governor. I mean, w- what we did that before, and it's just like it gets overlooked. It's just when it comes to the blacks and browns, it's no justice. I just know. I don't know.
One thing for sure is different is you guys are not silenced. And usually the system is designed for the first of two fights, unfortunately. They figure they knock you out because you give up and you lose hope. And I heard you say you're not going to give up. As long as there's breath in your body, you're going to fight. And I know he has that same spirit within him because he knows he doesn't deserve that type of time. One of the things that is happening is the commentation hearing. The letter is very important. Him writing a letter in regards to his advocating for himself is very important, and letting them know that he's in a position right now where they're working on helping others. The OMCP program is about people helping people with lived experience, helping them get through their trauma, their substance abuse addiction, their sexual trauma. It's a lot of people in prison is there because of their trauma. And the part of the restorative justice movement is to bringing that accountability and bringing the offender and bringing the victim together for healing. So, with that being said, that type of crime doesn't have the type of victims that will sit up in a boardroom and say, "I don't want this person coming home," because it's a property crime. So
Yes,
what I'm saying here is the letters is important. You stepping out in the forefront and advocating for them is very important. But the word has to get out because it can happen to anybody's family member. So that's the thing that's about this podcast. I love the fact that Miss Pearl and Nate saw the desperate need because today is you. Tomorrow it could be anybody that's listening. It could be anybody in your community going through this, and they'd be asking how, why, what to do. So if we don't get ahead of this, we'll always be behind it. We'll be right there behind the scenes, experiencing all the trauma, all the miscarriage of justice, and all the judicial abuse that people of color experience. So thank you for believing in yourself, believing in him, believing in your higher power, and just fighting a good fight because in the end it will work out. I've been there. I know. I speak from experience. The fight will, you continue to fight, you will get your just do, and the cause will be furthered. That's why me, Nate, and Pearl are working so hard to do podcasts, is to do documentaries, to get the word out so people understand how the system works and how it affects us when we don't raise our voice and we don't stand up.
I would like to say that any other woman who's experiencing, brother, they have a loved one, they may not be together, please do not give up on them because a lot of them do not have anyone that will fight for them. Set the emotions to the side and realize that This is a human being, and that deserves justice, not 155 years to life.
That's hard. That's really, really hard. That's just like, mm,
I couldn't
mm,
even go to the sentence because something in my spirit, I felt that it was going to be an unjust sentence. No telling. I probably would have threw something at the judge. Like, are you serious? It's no telling how I would have reacted to that. So, I mean, I'm just being honest, excuse, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but that's just my feelings. If I would have been at the sentence, but it's unfair and unjust, and I just pray that justice will be done, but it takes a community. And if there's other young women that are out there who are going through the same emotions and feelings and anguish that I'm going through, you're not alone. And I'm here. If there's any way you can reach out to me, it takes a community. We have to build community to really to help one another, to be there, to be that strength, to be that rock, to be that shoulder to cry on, and to help our loved ones to pull together to fight for justice for them.
mm, absolutely. And I think that, Structures for Freedom, and the rest of our organizations need to come together and bring some type of healing circle events, together for the women that are experiencing the type of path that you are on and your children are on. I think that is very, very important. A lot of people go to bed every day and not even give it a second thought, or they might see something flash on the news, but they really, I don't even think this is my first time actually ever talking to somebody in my entire life and on God in heaven that actually told me that their husband or spouse was sentenced to 155 years. And I mean, my first thing is I thought he what killed the president or something. You know what I
Mm,
mean? When you said something like that, you know what I mean? But burglary, wrongly
burglary.
convicted, wrongly convicted.
Mhm. Yeah.
Nate,
If it's, if I may ask, if it's one thing you will really want to hit home with our listeners and our viewers, what would that be to help further your cause and our cause? Basically, it's our cause as a people for freedom, justice, and equality. Those are the things that we're supposed to have as our inedible rights as human beings, is for freedom, justice, and equality. So if it's one thing that you would like them to hear, and just because people hear a lot and then the feelings come into play, and then sometimes we block out those things. If you want to get one single thing to nail home to them, what would that be?
Keep fighting. Don't give up on your loved ones. Just regardless of the situation, whether you may be together, not together, whatever, keep fighting for them because they matter.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know, Nate. It was a saying that we had, and it was hurt people hurt others. And then when I connected with Nate and we really got to talking, one thing he said to me is like, once we change, we commit ourselves to that change. Hurt people may hurt others, but people that heal facilitate the healing of others. And that's what this is about. It's about healing. It's about that personal accountability, about healing each other, coming together and protecting ourselves, protecting our rights as human beings and our rights to a fair and impartial hearing, our rights to be there for our family, to save them from the miscarriage of justice, unfair laws, our rights just to be human. It's sad to say that we still consider three-fourths or three-fifths of a human being, and it shows in the type of sentences that they're issuing out right now. So the fight must continue, and we will not be silenced. So my heart goes out to you. I know everyone on this call. I'm just praying that you guys hear her genuineness, hear her prayers, And just think about, this could happen to someone in your family. This could happen to someone you love. So don't let her and her family stand alone and they fight for justice.
Yes, thank you. And I thank you all. I thank you for the opportunity to be able to express and hear, share my story because it's been a long journey, but the fight is not over. And like I said, as long as I have breath in my body and my higher power, justice will be done, not just for myself, but for others. But it takes a community and it takes a circle.
Amen. You are really strong because I'm telling you, and I'm really proud of you too. I just want to say that because that's not an easy fight, and me sitting on the sideline that hasn't been through the fight, I just know that that's not an easy fight. That is not an easy fight. I mean, just every day waking up going, just even in your phone conversations, there's there's not even a conversation where you can even say right now, my husband's coming home, your dad's coming home one day, you know, um, and it wasn't the death penalty, but it might have well been because I mean,
Yeah, 155 years, too long.
Jesus,
And then this
yeah.
co-defendant gets 6 years with half time. Mm.
And
And
Hmm.
been
then
home.
and been home, been home. Do you think he looks out for my husband? If he does, I mean, not the time when I was in the picture. And I've only been out the picture for a year and a half, and I'm still there. I'm just at a distance. I'm not going to just give up on him just because what we may be going through. No.
But this system is designed to put you at a distance.
Yes.
The system is designed to cause the type of turmoil that you're having and make him have all the pain and suffering that he's experiencing now. And so, I mean, that it's designed to do exactly what it's trying to do. You know what I mean? But Satan's a liar, and you got to be
Yes.
able to be
Lord.
stronger, and just say, you know what? Everybody needs a break. Even if you're out of prison, sometimes you just need that break. But I want to
Mm.
say, coming from the heart, I know that right now he needs you more than ever. You know what I mean? More than ever.
Mm.
You know. Um.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here. I don't, his family, there's his family's there too, certainly, but I can't worry about what anybody else is doing. I know what I'm gonna do for the sake of our daughters, especially because I grew
Nate.
up.
Nate, you want to add to any of that?
I grew up.
We lost Nate. We're losing you. Okay, so we're losing you for some reason. But okay, so what we want to do is there anything that you would like to share with the audience that we didn't have a chance to cover um, at all, Taryn?
Um, Not that I can think of. No, not that I can.
Okay, you want to V? You want to close?
I
Yes,
just want to say thank you for being so courageous, because the fact of the matter is we can't heal from that which we don't reveal. So we have to expose ourselves and let them know how we are impacted, how our families are being impacted, and how our communities are being impacted, for us to be able to heal as a community, and for us to be able to get justice, for us to be able to be show that we are decent human beings. We're not against the system. We're against the system that is not fair and not just to all people, especially the people of color. And we need our family. We wouldn't have so many problems in the community if we had our men home. So we need to
exactly.
bring our men home And we need to let them see that our men are actually men. They're responsible, accountable, and committed to their families and their communities if you give them the chance to be. So I'll make a pledge to you, and I know Nate is the same because he brought me into this fight. You know, is to not be silenced, to continue to fight, to continue to support our women that we left behind because you all are our backbones. You're the backbone of civilization. You're our backbone in today's age, and we need to support you guys. We need to provide for you guys. We need to make sure that we're there to make sure our generation of kids come up with people who love, care, and will protect them. So we're gonna bring the information there, the truth there, and we're gonna fight with all our might to make sure that justice be done. So you're not alone in your struggle. You're not alone in this fight. Just continue to raise your voice and feed your spirit and trust in your higher power. That is that is something I really pray for you and pray for everyone who's going through this because you're not the only one. It feels like you're the only one, the only family, but you're not the only one going through this miscarriage of justice. You're not the only one, but other people may not have the courage to put it out there, and you do. And that's how we make a difference. So thank you.
And I would like to say, on conclusion, other women who are going through this, allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be open. It's okay. Don't be ashamed because you're not alone. We're in this fight together.
Amen. Okay, so
Amen.
for those of you that are just tuning in or tuning out, you are tuned in to wronglyconvictedtv.com. I'm your host, Pearl J. We have Nate Williams and B on the line, and our special guest, Karen Williams, discussing the topic of her husband being sentenced to 155 years for burglary. Tune in next Sunday, 6 p.m. For more information, go to wronglyconvictedtv.com. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a guest.
Thank you.
Thank you all, and God
Thank you
bless.
all. God bless.